Hey, folks, let me tell you about the time I went toe-to-toe with Linda Hawthorne, the queen bee of our neighborhood HOA, and came out swinging. Picture this. It's a crisp Saturday morning in Willow Lake, my little slice of heaven where my grandpa built our family cabin back in '79. And here comes Linda, strutting onto my property like she owns the place, ripping down my private property, no trespassing sign with this smug grin that could curdle milk. She's got 3 cops trailing her, looking like they'd rather be flipping pancakes at the diner than dealing with her nonsense. And I'm just standing there on my deck, sipping my coffee, thinking, oh, Linda, you have no idea who you're messing with. Now, I'm Ethan Carter, just a regular guy who spent 10 years as a geologist for a big oil company, so I know a thing or two about reading people who think they can pull a fast one. Linda, though? She's been running this HOA like her personal fiefdom, and for months, she's had her sights on my cabin, poking around with surveys and boundary checks that smelled fishier than the lake after a storm. See, my grandpa left me more than just this cabin. He left me a beat-up old journal filled with notes about our land, the neighbors, and some shady company called Crescent Oil that's been sniffing around small towns like ours for decades. That journal was my ace in the hole, and as Linda stood there, waving her fancy tablet with some fake map claiming my land was HOA property, I knew it was time to play my hand. Ma'am, one of the cops, a guy named Tom who I've seen scarfing down eggs at Millie's Diner, says to Linda, we're here to verify the property lines, per your request. His voice is all business, but his eyes are screaming, why am I here? Linda's beaming like she's just won the Powerball, tapping her tablet to show this digital survey that shrinks my property by a good 60 feet on every side. Bold move, Linda. Real bold. I take a slow sip of my coffee, point up at the HOA surveillance drone buzzing overhead, its little red light blinking like it's enjoying the show, and say, Officer Tom, you sure you want to do this in front of that camera? Linda's head snaps up, and for a split second, I see it. A flicker of panic in her eyes, like she's just realized she might have stepped into quicksand. I set my mug down, pull out a folder I've been carrying for weeks, and say, Linda, before you go any further with this circus, you sure you want to mess with this? The folder's got my property deed, the original '79 survey, and a geological report from '82 that says there's nothing but dirt and dreams under this land. No oil, no gas, nothing. Linda's face twitches, and she snaps. I don't know what kind of fake paperwork you think you have, Ethan, but our survey's state-of-the-art. Her voice is shaky, though, like a balloon losing air, and I can tell she's starting to sweat. The cops are looking at my folder now, and Tom's eyebrows are doing that thing where he's wondering if he's been played. Here's the thing. Linda's not just some busybody with too much time on her hands. She's engaged to this guy, Victor Crane, who runs Crescent Oil, a company that's been buying up land in rural towns like ours by cooking up fake geological reports that promise black gold under your backyard. I've been getting weird calls for weeks, some guy with a gravelly voice asking about development opportunities and subsurface rights. At first, I thought he was just a pushy salesman, but then I found Grandpa's journal, with its warnings about Crescent Oil and a note that said, Ethan, when someone comes for the land, the truth is your shield. That's when I started digging, and let me tell you, what I found was dirtier than a coal mine. I pull out my phone, give Linda my best poker face, and say, you know what, Linda? Before we waste these officers' morning, let me make a quick call to clear things up. Her eyes go wide, and she stammers, who are you calling? I just smile, hit the call button, and wait as the line rings. Once, twice, then Boomy's sister, Rachel Carter, picks up. Rachel's not just my big sister. She's a deputy with the county sheriff's resource crimes unit, and she's been itching to nail Crescent Oil for years. Rachel, I say, loud enough for everyone to hear. I've got a situation at the cabin, suspected fraud, fake surveys, the works. Linda's face goes from pink to ghost white, and I swear I hear her clipboard hit the ground like it's auditioning for a war movie. The cops are shifting now, looking at Linda like she's a suspect, not a complainant. Tom steps closer, his voice low. Ma'am, do you have any county authorization for this survey? Linda's fumbling with her tablet, mumbling about paperwork at the HOA office, but it's clear she's got nothing. That's when Rachel rolls up in her sheriff's SUV, with 2 investigators in tow, and the whole scene feels like something out of a crime show. Rachel's all business, striding over with that calm authority that makes people rethink their life choices. "Morning, folks," she says, her eyes locking onto Linda. "I hear we've got some questions about property lines and resource fraud. Miss Hawthorne, we've been wanting to chat with you for a while." Linda's practically vibrating now, her perfect hair finally giving up under the pressure. Rachel's team starts pulling footage from the drone, which, the irony shows Linda ripping down my sign and storming onto my land like she's leading a SWAT team. I hand Rachel Grandpa's folder, and her eyes light up when she sees his notes about Crescent Oil's shady deals from the 80s. Turns out, Victor's been running the same playbook for years. Fake surveys, pressure tactics, and bribing local officials to look the other way. Grandpa had even saved a newspaper clipping from '91, showing a younger Victor at some shady land deal. With his handwriting in the margin, they manufacture the problem, then sell the fix. Then, out of nowhere, Mrs. Clara Thompson, our neighbor who's been here since the Nixon era, shows up with a box of her own. Clara's the kind of lady who knows everyone's business but keeps it to herself until it matters. "Ethan," she calls out, hauling this box that looks like it survived a war. "Your grandpa gave me copies of everything, surveys, letters, you name it. Said someone might try to pull a fast one someday." She pulls out the original '79 boundary map, pristine as the day it was drawn, and a sealed envelope marked for Sheriff's Department, fraud evidence. Rachel opens it, and her jaw tightens as she reads Grandpa's notes about Crescent Oil's attempts to scam half the county. The real kicker comes at the HOA meeting 2 days later. It's like a courtroom showdown, with FBI agents in the back and news cameras sneaking in despite our best efforts. I'm at the podium, laying out Grandpa's evidence like I'm Perry Mason Bank records showing $400,000 funneled from the HOA to Crescent Oil, fake surveys, even recordings of Linda and Victor plotting to bribe county officials. Linda's up front, looking like she's aged 20 years overnight, her red blazer swapped for a frumpy suit that screams, "I'm in deep trouble." Clara stands up, fire in her eyes, and calls Linda out for threatening families to sell their land with lies about environmental hazards. The room erupts, neighbors turning on Linda with a mix of shock and fury. I save the best for last. "Linda," I say, holding up Grandpa's '82 geological report. "That survey Victor fed you? The one promising oil under our homes. Total bunk. There's never been oil here, not in '82, not now. Victor knew it, but he played you like a fiddle, using you to scare folks into selling cheap." Linda's voice cracks as she whispers, "But he showed me satellite data, 3D models." It's almost sad, watching her realize she was just a pawn in Victor's game. The FBI agent, Sarah Brooks, is scribbling notes, probably building a case that'll span half the country. Linda got 7 years in federal prison and a $3 million restitution order she'll never pay off. Victor? They nabbed him at JFK with a suitcase full of cash, headed for some island with no extradition. He's looking at 20 years, and Crescent Oil's been gutted, its assets seized to pay back victims across 10 states. The HOA used the recovered funds to build Willow Lake Park Trails, a fishing dock, the work something Linda always promised but never delivered. Rachel's team uncovered a nationwide scam, with our little fight in Willow Lake cracking the case wide open. Sitting on my deck now, coffee in hand, I look at Grandpa's old photo and raise my mug. "You called it, Grandpa. The greedy fools came, and the truth was our shield. I'm HOA president now, voted in unanimously, and we've got new rules to keep things transparent. No more Lindis running the show. This cabin, this land, it's more than just a place. It's a reminder that sometimes the good guys win by outsmarting the bullies and letting karma do the rest." So what about you? Got your own HOA nightmare or neighbor from hell story? Drop it in the comments. I am all ears for tales of justice served cold. If this saga made you grin, hit that like button and subscribe to Hearthstone Stories for more underdog wins. Thanks for listening. And here's to standing up to the Lindis of the world with nothing but the truth and a good cup of coffee.